Now, today, the reason we do it in meeting style like this is because, well, quite honestly, every time I see anyone talking about AI, it's always going into the theory around it, and it's going into the the kind of ethics and that side of things. And I personally believe that you're your own ethics committee. I believe that you decide how you're going to implement it into your organizations and associations. I believe that you'll understand what your members will like, what they won't, all that style of thing. So what I wanted to do today really is actually go through the tools and use them and answer your questions on how you use them, why you would use them, where they become useful in the organization, whether it's for membership, whether it's for marketing, how the engagement works, and the tools around them. So it's designed really so that you go away understanding what are the good tools that are out there, the safe ones. We're only talking about ones that are regulated. We're not talking about any of the deep fake creators today. If you want to know about those, then we'll create a separate workshop how to avoid Australian law authorities. So it's from here, we want to really get straight into this. Now, don't worry about pulling your hand up or sort of using the chat. Just ask the questions as we go. There's plenty of time for questions at the end as well, but if you want to know something about it at that point, just shout out. It's a lot easier this way. So without further ado, let's jump into this. So the introduction to AI really is going to be based around well, the idea is to take you from such a level so that you understand by the end of these 3 hours exactly what you can do straight away. So let's get some of the oddities out the way. The role in association management is massive, and it can't be understated. In fact, it's hard to actually overstate. This is going to affect everyone. Hairdressers, augmented reality mirrors where you swipe through and it maps their faces and gives their hairstyle. Massage therapists where you can take a photo and it will see which muscles are in spasm and then advise you on the best way to actually start manipulating that muscle. It's going to affect everyone. When you look at leadership, particularly association CEOs and C-suite and executives, you're going to be given a huge amount of data to make decisions from. So if you've got an Excel spreadsheet of membership, you can just go, well, which one's most likely to leave? And it will go through and it'll say, as long as you've got the data, it'll go through and it'll go, well, this one has been the least engaged over this period. Initially, they joined here and they went to these different events and they opened your emails here and they spent this long reading, and then they were engaged in these different forms. But since this date, they've been on the decline till now, and that predicts that they're becoming less engaged with the organization. These are the top 10 members that are most likely to leave. You can say, who's the member that's got the most long-term value? Who's the member? You can actually just use normal style questions. So your decision-making becomes purely data-driven. What we can't do is leave it to the AI to make all the decisions, because otherwise we won't have a job. But it's more to the point where what we have to do is plug it in with the human intuition. So you understand your industry and organization better than anyone else. And this is just a tool. Without humans, AI currently can't do anything. It's not automated. It's not like sentient or self-aware. We've got none of that at the moment. But what we are seeing is really fast decision making. We're seeing organizations now have non-executive board members, but with someone like the AI there who is actually giving them advice. So it's almost like AI board members. Simply a laptop sat there listening, that knows your strategy, knows your purpose, knows your P&Ls, knows your annual reports. And then when it sits there listening and you say to it in the board meeting, what do you think to this idea? It will use all that knowledge and give you a feedback on what it thinks. Is that working towards your objective? Is that working towards your strategy? Is this something outside of that? What's the pros? What's the cons? We're seeing those sorts of data decision making already come in. And personalization is my favorite one, quite honestly. You must have seen, I've been buggering around with video for a while now. And now, well, you can clone yourself, have that clone stuck into a at scale video creator. It will then personalize it to everyone's name, everyone's company, and create 1,000 separate tailored videos inviting your members to the event or inviting your members to renew. So personalization is becoming massive. It's now a case of, well, if you're sending a newsletter out and you're just putting the name at the beginning, why not have the CEO's clone do a video introduction? Why not? And talk to that person about the stuff they're interested in rather than just a generic email. So what we're seeing is the efficiency, the automation, it all comes down to one thing. It comes down to productivity. How much more productive can you and each one of your staff members become? So this is how it works. Now, you will see here, there is a huge, huge problem with AI. It's made by techies, and techies have no marketing understanding whatsoever. So they have these brilliant words, sort of like AI, LLM, neural networks, generative AI, neural networks, and large language models. Large language models are what we're talking about today. An LLM is essentially a style of artificial intelligent data. So you have two parts to this. What we have is the large language model, which is GPT, Claude, and Gemini, all these different ones. But they scrape data and they get a huge amount of data, and that data is kept as either a dense model, which is just imagine stacks of data, pages of data on top of each other, or it's a mixture of experts where they segment it so each part becomes plugged into each other. Now, the large language models are the generative AI. That's where we are at the moment. We've got generative AI, and generative simply means you give it some information. I want a website about landscaping, and it will generate a website about landscaping. Or I want one about membership organizing, and it'll generate that. But what it does is it goes away and gets its information and comes back with its best guess. So the reason it's called chat is because it comes back first time with its best guess, and then you chat with it to refine it to get where you want to be. So generative AI is where we are. Neural networks, it's called that because when you look through the actual kind of the large language model itself, and you peer from the top, it looks and maps out exactly like a brain. Like it's identical. When they get big enough, they just look like a giant brain. So that's why they're called neural networks. And with this style, what we're now seeing is these are the kind, this is a bit old now, but in the idea, well, November 23, a bit old. How fast is this industry moving? So you can see here, ChatGPT, when it launched, 20 billion. That's the size of it. This is what we have at the moment in scale. And these are all good representatives of size and scale. So we now have Moss, Llama, Stable, Chinchilla, Palm, Claude, Falcon. We've got them all. We know Gemini is now out, and we know GPT-5 is on its way. Amazon's about to launch its Olympus. So there's going to be AIs everywhere, just everywhere. You can see we've gone from 20 billion, where it could answer some questions and write a poem. And now We're at 32 updates later. That's 2 updates a month for the last 14 months. And now we have 1.76 trillion documents. Now, that is an incomprehensible size. It's like they've scraped the whole internet and stuck it on the hard drive. And then they've got this magic piece of software called a transformer. And the transformer, just like now, where you're taking away the bits of information that are interesting to you, the transformer does that. It goes through the I guess, data of all of the 1.676 trillion, and then returns the bit that's information. So it's the transformer that's the actual artificial intelligence piece. These are just data dumps. So with that side of thing, we're going to be playing most with GPT-4 because, well, it's still the best by quite some margin. Even the new Gemini that's come out it's got challenges in all kinds of areas. So they have strengths and weaknesses in different areas. Some are really great at programming, some have really huge context windows, some have the ability to do intuition really well. But at its core, GPT-4 is still the friendliest, easiest to get on with, and most straightforward. It's the paid version, because realistically, when we look through here and we look at GPT 3.5, the free version, GPT-4 can see, talk, understand, it can interrogate data, it can analyze data, it can give you downloadable documents. It has an IQ of 155. It can pass any legal bar, any medical exam in any language in any country, and has done. So there's a whole saying around friends don't let friends use 3.5. And there's a reason we say that. It's really a case of when you look at the way the context windows work, this is how it takes its relevance for the question. So when you give it a question, we used to only be able to put 6 pages of information in. And after that, it then couldn't take any more context around your question. And then it would try and give you back the answer within 6 pages. Because after 6 pages of information that it's feeding back to you, it's out of its context window and it's forgotten. It has no memory. Now, that was a really big issue. What that did is then immediately go to, oh, hang on, well, there's 12 pages here. Grok went to another 12 pages. You notice I always talk about pages or words. I never talk about tokens. Tokens are really hard. I mean, it's ridiculous. It won't be around for long. It's a problem they've given themselves and they'll have to resolve it. Hello, just the word hello in English into GPT at the moment is 1 token. If the Japanese use it and say hello, it's 6 tokens. So it's normally 3 or 4 random tokens. It's hard to work out. It's easier to work. It's much easier to stay within the words or pages. You'll see now we got up to 48 pages here. Today, we're at 192 pages of information. Now, from there, we saw Claude go to 300 pages. Now, it's not as intelligent, but if I want to put in a whole book and have it rewrite the book, then it becomes a lot easier in Claude than it would be in GPT-4. And Google Gemini, which is, second best at the moment, Google Gemini just went to 1 million. So that means you can drop a whole movie in and say, what's the relevance of this scene and this sentence within that movie? It means very quickly that we're moving towards a 10 million context window. And a 10 million context window means I'll be able to take a movie like Barbie, a movie like Oppenheimer, drop it in, smash it together, create Barbenheimer, and every explosion will be pink, fluffy, whatever. So it now means that we're going to be able to become it's catching up. It's to the point where it's becoming hugely useful and massively practical. So if you want to take the history of your association, drop it in, and then give a predictive analysis on where you're going to forecast the growth from, it will be able to do that from the entire historical documents all the way up to today, because it will have enough space within its context window to do so. So yes, context windows, the joys and names of what's called, should be called instructions, size of instructions. As we look here, the achievements. Now, you'll notice I go through the, I guess, the kind of background of these pretty quickly, because I want to get into the tools. I want to get to the fun bit where we actually get to play with them. So if you have any questions about the kind of, I guess, theory around it, don't hesitate. The achievements, we started off with this one here. We started off with GPT-3, 13 billion. It could do some arithmetic and it had some comprehension. It got the world's attention. We've currently got, I think, 122 million daily users. That's how many quickly it's gone up. And it got our attention. We suddenly went, well, hang on, it can write an email better than I can write an email. Then suddenly it started advancing, and now it could do linguistics puzzles. It could pass a secondary school. It understood metaphors. It used to be a case that if you said to it, a cowboy rode into town on Friday, stayed 3 days and left on Friday, how would this work? It could never rationalize it. It just floored it every time. And when you would even say, well, its horse was called Friday, it just still wouldn't grasp it. It just never really took these on. Whereas now we're way beyond college level exams, self-critique and reflection. It can build apps for you now. So you can build your own app, spatial reasoning, advanced creativity. And as of a few weeks ago, they're now putting these large language models into humanoid robots, which will shortly be around to help us walk the dog, mow the lawn, clean your house, all that type of thing. In fact, just today, there was an announcement that Microsoft, OpenAI, NVIDIA, and a range of others have just funded a robot builder, which is called Figure. And that was for $675 million so that they can put the AI into it. It'll be launched this year. We'll see robots this year, because what's coming next is the case of persuasion, advanced embodiment, which is your robots, and awareness. I mean, that's too far. I don't think we'll have awareness for quite some time. That's over the hill and far away right now. So what can AI actually do? Now, I put this onto LinkedIn, and it got the most incredible response. But essentially, what it can do is, well, turn your newsletter into something a bit more interesting. So we took that
Hello
text
and welcome to Julian's
and had the
digital
clone say
twin.
it.
Yes, you heard that right. I am Julian's AI clone, and I am here. Wow, je réalise que c'est très méta. Et l'IA parle des mises à
I
jour
can't
de
speak
l'IA.
French.
I just realized this is so meta, an AI talking about AI updates. 2024 is running at a huge pace, and OpenAI's ChatGPT is evolving just as rapidly.
So you can see very quickly, if you've got the content, what we'll do now is just get rid of that and open something a bit more exciting. Not Google. Google's not the exciting part. I want to show now from the theory, let's move into something more practical. So the first one is generative. Why is it called generative? You remember me saying about websites. Now, this is called durable, and everything we talk about today is going to be ticks on privacy, ticks on ethics, ticks on the whole thing. You're not going to have any issues. So the reason I show this is because I can't make a website. I'm not a programmer. I don't know how to program in Python. I don't know anything like that. But I can make a website these days because AI is now making domain specialists. That's the way NVIDIA spoke about it. NVIDIA's CEO, lots of CEOs in AI are just saying that programming's dead. Give it 5 years, 7 years, programming is dead. And they're saying that because it was never the case. It was never about programming. It was about problem solving. It was about technical people using technical products to solve a problem. But if that product is now in your mind and you're the domain, you're the specialist of your domain, well, now you've got tools to make them yourselves. And those tools are as bad as they're ever going to be. They only get better from here on in. So I'm just going to have a look and think, I said landscaping, didn't I? Because of the guy out the front at the moment, there's landscaping. So landscaping business, where are we located? You could choose wherever you want to be located. Enter the name. I am going to be called Dig for Gold and generate the website. And that's the website made because now it's taken our information and it's gone off and generated the rest. It's pure generative AI. And it's the best way to see it because it's going to come back and give us its best guess. And its best guess isn't that bad. So, of course, what it now does is write the elevator, put the services in. It tends to put the American kind of images in, but it's completely editable. So unlike things like some of the other software out there at the moment, I won't mention it, where it's all tied to frames and you can't change this, that, or the other. This has no framework. It's just doing the coding for you. So here we are, add a lead capture form. That's not, and we've made a website. And now Dig for Gold is alive and you can book us straight away. Transform your outdoor spaces. Explore the expert landscaping solutions in Brisbane that can bring your garden dreams to life. Click to learn more. Introducing Dig for Gold, a premier landscaping company based in Brisbane. Our team of skilled professionals dedicated to installation, creating beautiful landscapes. The services we got is lawn maintenance and garden design. Actually, those images aren't too bad apart from the scary looking knife. Then we've got some, yeah, there we are. Here's our American images. Oh my word, it's not very Brisbane focused. Then as we go through, we've got some testimonial. Alex thinks we're awesome, as does Oliver. And so we've got our testimonials there. The about us, that's a bit better. That looks a bit more like a Queensland side of thing. And then we've got the location, and you can then get in touch, send us an email and contact form. So you can see now very quickly when I talk about, and you can edit any of these sections, change the text, change the font, change the image. It's a click and drag and drop thing. It's very straightforward to do. But this clearly shows that beforehand, it used to be, what, $6,000 to $8,000 to have a website made. And it would take a couple of weeks for them to get back to you. And now you just click a button and give it a few words. And if you quite honestly, if you spend 2 hours on this, you've got a brilliant website. It will then host it for you if that's what you want. It's got a basic CRM in the background. So if you want to send emails out to members, there's no limit on the number it has. It's got a basic editing side of things, and it's $25 a month. So it's suddenly become, if you want a basic CRM with a website that you can control yourself, that you don't have to program in any way, it's now $25 a month. when we start thinking about how that's going to affect us, when you think about sponsorship or events, when you think about the time that you would have loved to be able to say to a big event partner, we'll create a microsite for you and we'll give you your dedicated microsite talking about you, your products, and how you work in our industry. But we never did because it would cost us too much and take us too much time. Well, now it doesn't. Anyone can make this type of thing. So that's a good example of what generative does. But I want to get into video. And the reason I want to get into video quickly, I know we've got lots of time, but the reason I want to get into video quickly is because that's where the personalization is going to go. Now, the reason I say the personalization is this is HeyGen. And HeyGen, in my mind, is the safest, most secure, easy way to clone yourself. When you're looking to clone, and the reason we clone ourselves is quite straightforward. I don't have to be there for my comms person and send a video out of me going, hi, and what, thanks for joining. And so now you can have welcome members from the CEO. Any new member gets the video. It uses their name, it uses their thing, and it's really straightforward. Like it's crazy straightforward. In fact, what I'm going to do is just stop my video. And now we're going to create an avatar.
Hey guys, I'm Joshua, co-founder and CEO of HeyGen.
Now you'll meet Joshua. He never shuts up. He's like that GPS voice in your car that you're just like, yeah, you told me to turn right, but you know, you've told me 30 times now. So that's a clone as well. So let's get started. We don't need any of these. We'll have video instructions. Here he is.
So we only need...
Shh, bless your heart. Now you can upload footage. And uploaded footage is best because anyone who's got, I'm holding my camera up as I've turned off my camera. Anyone who's got a phone will know that it's 4K now. So as long as you got good lighting and good sound, your phone's really the best because it's 4K. But I'm going to do mine with the webcam. So I'm going to turn on. There we are. So now I'm going to choose a topic to talk about. So now I have to talk to the camera for 30 seconds about anything really, because what it's doing is it's mapping my image. Now I glanced away. So straight away, what's going to happen is my new avatar is going to look up and look down and look away and do all these things. If I put my hands up, suddenly what that will take into account these, and it's going to clone the hands. And now I'm going to have all these different gestures going on. So I'm looked away again to see how long I had. I'm really making a balls up of how to do a clone. So there we are. Let's there we are. So that's good. Oh my word, I could have smiled a bit. So my footage looks good. So now I have to record a consent. I, Julian Moore, hereby allow HeyGen to use the footage of me to build a HeyGen avatar for use in the HeyGen platform for safety purposes. This is the passcode, YAIY. That then goes across. I can now turn on my camera again. And there we are. And now it matches my consent with the clone I just made. And then from there, it'll corroborate the two to make sure it's me, because I actually tried to clone Peter Dutton and to show him how we can do all these different things. And I just took 2.5 minutes of Peter Dutton's YouTube videos, cut out all the crap. So it's just him stood still talking for 2.5 minutes. I thought, this is great. But then I tried to, you can see my consent is validated, submit. it'll upload the video, and then it'll start creating my new clone. Done. And here it is. It's going to start getting it ready for there. So I even tried to get his video on my phone so that I could use it as the consent as well. So it's impossible to bypass. I tried it every way possible, because can you imagine? I could have, you know, Peter Dutton saying, yeah, me and Albo, we're bloody good mates, really. Thursday nights, we just pull on our frocks and eat pizza together. It's the best thing. And, you know, you could have had him say anything. So on the security, I think the Hey Gen has really nailed it. Now, when you have your avatar and it's made, you get 3 versions. So you can choose which ones you want. I'm going to just pick this one, and it then goes, well, first off, do you want to make it ready for Instagram, or do you want to make it for website? So it then sounds like this.
Hey, Julian Moore, your instant avatar is ready. Feel free to create videos with it. Also, click the feedback button to share what you think. Hope you enjoy.
So that's not me. It's the digital version of me. Well, now I just have to decide what I'm going to say. So what I'm actually going to say is, I don't want to create it myself. Why would we? Why would you ever write your own scripts anymore? So I'm going to nip into GPT and have GPT write my script for me. Let's have a look at what we've got. Let's say, write me a poem about associations and make it funny. So here's our poem. In a world so wide and vast, connections wide and wide, there's a bit of tale, a bit of cuff about associations and all this stuff. There we are. All right, so I'm just going to take the first couple of that. And now I'm going to paste it in to here. And that's what they'll say. So if you've got a CEO who's away, or you've got whoever it may be, you can just paste the script in. I'm just going to get that to do a quick test. Now, it then maps this, and it will give you a chance to test it. So it won't change the video at this point. It just gives you so you can hear the sound. So you know it's taking breaks in the right place. You know it's taking breaths in there. So it sounds natural. And when you're going through, you can add in half a second pause, or you can translate the information from wherever it may be. So now that looks like it's got the timing.
So vast and wide, where connections far and wide abide, there's a tale, a bit off the cuff, about associations and all their stuff. There's the Society of Socks gone solo, missing their pairs, in the laundry they wallow. And the Union of Cats in boxes, quite snug, ignoring the beds, on cardboard they hug.
All right, so that sounds pretty good. But now what language or voice do I want to use? Now, at the moment, it's me.
Hello, this is how I sound. Hope you like it.
But I might want to sound different. I might want to be Charles.
Hi, this is how I sound. Hope you like it.
No one wants to be Charles. So then what we'll do is then, oh my word, I've just realized this is being recorded, and Hey Gen are a partner of ours at a conference coming up in March 15, and they probably know who Charles is. So I'm not embarrassed by that whatsoever. So
Hello, this is how I sound. Hope you like it.
Or I can be a newscaster.
Hello, this is how I sound. Hope you like it.
Or, of course, if you're going out to a different language group, like Chinese.
你好，這就是我的聲音，希望你喜歡。
你好，這就是我的聲音，希望您喜歡。
So now, essentially, I can speak any language in the world, on any topic in the world, in any accent and any intonation, because it's not just the choice of one. I can choose whereabouts in the world they come from. So I can choose all kinds of things. I can even integrate a third party now. So if I want to be Morgan Freeman, I can import Morgan Freeman's voice and sound like God. So it's on there. Once we've then chosen the voice, you can speed it up, change the pitch, or we can now start doing all the other parts. Maybe I want to, it's the marketing plan. So I'm going to put one of those terrible YouTube kind of marketing plan things in. There it is. That needs to be a bit smaller. And then, of course, I've got some elements. You notice it's all drag and drop. So now I'm a YouTuber. And you can see it just maps it all out for you. And then once you're done, you click submit. I can't believe I'm going to get rid of that because it looked awful, quite honestly. So I'm going to submit that, and it needs 1 credit, and I've got 11 left. And that will now submit, and it's gone off and it's getting ready. So now let's see if how our avatar is going. That's still being created. The video is being created there. So I was asked to, well, we'll come back to this when it's done. I was asked by the National Gardens and gardening centres and nurseries to make one of these. So here we are, Nursery and Garden Industry, New South Wales, peak body.
The Nursery and Garden Industry, Nest Toulouse
So
and ACT
you can, what do you call it? Let me
Ltd.
just skip through.
Role in managing green spaces across
And
urban Australia.
can you see my
which is
eyes are
home to
looking
the
down?
majority of the
Or
population.
its eyes are looking
One
down.
of Engina's
It's because I
highlight
was looking
events
to
is
see
the Trade Day,
if I'd
a
finished recording.
trade-only plant
And now
market
suddenly it
that
looks more
serves as a
realistic
vital link
for
between
the occasional
growers,
glance down.
suppliers, and buyers across NSW's.
So then from there, we might want to put it into a template and turn it into the Nursery Garden Institute's news.
The Nursery and Garden Industry NSW and ACT Limited, Engina, serves as the peak body representing the nursery and garden industry within NS dollars annually and supporting more than 45,000 jobs.
So you can see here, you can very quickly just choose any avatar you want. There's thousands of them. And any size, shape, any language, any background, stood in any way. You might want to pick a template up and say, well, the use cases, I might want to create an advert with you stood in front of Google or whatever it is you might be doing. E-commerce, if you've got any different bits going on, the sort of merch sales or that type, your CPD, it's like this update on what the CPD courses are. We've then got the breaking news, which you can see is where I got mine from. And the breaking news ones are great because if you're going to announce your conference, if you're going to announce an update, if you're going out to members, everyone's preconditioned to seeing these sorts of different options. So you can have a news site really quite quickly, and you can go out on the regular with that type of thing. But what happens if, for instance, you have some videos already? Well, what you can do is if you nip to Labs, video translate, well, now it'll translate your current videos into other ones. So this is me speaking Portuguese. Now, this is a few months old now because this is the day after it became available, and I wanted to try it out. So I just finished mowing the lawn, so you'll have to excuse some of the rough stuff.
Oi, este é vídeo bastante.
The reason I paused there is this isn't dubbing. This isn't like, you know, the old 1990s movies where you want fight, you fight me type of thing. Dubbing is a thing of the past. Now it will manipulate the digital image so people with accessibility issues can lip read, or it looks genuinely like you're speaking.
Curto sobre IA e a sua capacidade de modificar a forma como nos comunicamos através da linguagem. Este AI foi.
And then this is me speaking, I think this is French.
Salut, bienvenue dans le double nom de Julian. Oui, je suis le clone IA de Julian. Et je suis ici pour vous informer des nouveautés de OpenAI GPT. Waouh, je réalise que c'est très méta et l'IA parle des mises.
And the difference here is it's not your Google Translate. It's actually interpretation, a genuine interpretation. So it understands how to actually interpret rather than just translate word for word. So now what we have is, well, we should see about the costs. Let's have a look, see if we can find the subscriptions. Is there an upgrade? There it is. So it costs $59 a month for 30 minutes. I very rarely go over that 30 minutes because you'll find most of the videos you want to send out are maybe 1 minute in length. And with that type of thing, you can create now your 1 minute, although saying that if you want to go up to 90 minutes or 60, it's 119. 90 minutes, $179 for an hour and a half. And you can use all the voices, all the captions. And then, of course, with that, what we've got is the ability to use all these different things. So now my avatar is ready. This is the one we just made out, or just made rather. Let's hear, oh my word. Why does it always freeze you in possibly the worst position? You know, whenever you pause video, it always does it in the worst possible way.
Hey, Julian Moore, your instant avatar is ready. Feel free to create videos with it. Also, click the feedback button to share what you think. Hope you enjoy.
Oh, it's a bit more smiley than I thought. So then, of course, now you just go in and drop your text in, drop your photos, drop your studios, drop your video, whatever background you want it to be. And then I've just now got the 3 avatars. Let's see if our video's made. And here it is. So here's our poem. We can turn the captions on and off at any time. We've got the terrible marketing plan logo going, so it looks like it's probably ready for YouTube.
In a world so vast and wide, where connections far and wide abide, there's a tale, a bit off the cuff, about associations and all their stuff. There's the Society of Socks gone solo, missing their pairs, in the laundry they wallow.
Now,
and the Union of Cats.
Once again, like you just can't be on it, can you? When you pause it, like you just pause it at the worst possible position. So you can see here that it's very easy to clone yourself. 2.5 minutes for the first one, then it's 30 seconds from there on in. Once you've actually done that clone, the use for this is really the personalization, because now we got the video, we can create something like a conference invitation. And that conference invitation is here. Hi, name. Hi, Rachel. Sorry, Rachel, you're right in the middle of my screen. So I'm just picking on you there. So hi, Rachel. I'm Julian's AI clone. I'm super excited to invite you to the association's conference in Brisbane in March. There's a lot happening, but you know, it's hi name. Now, what we do is once we've made that video, we then go to Be Human. Now, I've just got to find Be Human. Here's Be Human. It's a cloning company called Be Human. Again, possibly the worst name you can have for a cloning company. Let's log into here. Be Human will clone your voice, will clone your video. But what it does is it will take the video you just made, and now it will create campaigns. So say, for instance, well, actually, let me show you an exact one. This is you saw the video where we went, hi, name, come along to our conference. We then went out to 161 recipients. So we put the video up and it made me 161 separate videos. Now, that 161 videos, as I scroll all the way through, each one I can either download, turn into a GIF, or it's uploaded into Vimeo, all automatically. You don't have to do anything here. So you can see we've got all the different ones. Well, let's have a look at Heidi. Once again, that pause frame is awful.
Hi, Heidi. I'm Julian's AI clone. I'm super excited to invite you to the Association's Reimagined AI and the Digital Frontier.
So now everyone has one of those. And then at the end of this, 671 videos, it then has, how would you like to send it? Email? Would you like to send it in SMS? Use MailChimp, an API, download the CSV? Or would you like to just generate videos and send it via LinkedIn? Now, once you've done that, you can then go, well, who do you want the email to come from? Obviously, I want it to come from me. I can then go, well, what column contains your emails? I've uploaded a database with first name, company name, and email address. So the column with email. And so the title was, hey, Julian, here's your personal invite to the conference. And then the body of the text said, hey, Julian, I wanted to invite you to the association's AI conference personally, but it seemed better to have my AI clone make a video and invite you to an AI conference. And it's really a case of take a look at the conference and then it inserts the video. So everyone got a tailored email with a tailored video inviting them to the conference. And I sent this to a cold list. This is not sent out to members. This is sent to a cold list. And when we did this, now normally your response rates for cold lists are appalling, but this was sent, it will tell us shortly. I can't see when it was sent, but 43% open rate with 0 failed to send. So your open rates are going through the roof because personalization and a bill of novelty factor from the AI, of course. I mean, anyone receiving a video that says your name in it and your company name, and maybe even to the point it could go, when we're trialing this, I wanted to trial something that you could do on the LinkedIn. This is my favorite one ever. This is AI again, but what we wanted to do is put every possible framework in. So here's the transcript. Hi, Julian, how are you? Hope's well. Have some ideas I want to share. Cold outreach. So it could be, we're looking for, I now see Lucy in my gaze, and I've got Down syndrome Victoria. So it could be that you just go on to LinkedIn and you search for all families with Down syndrome in their family. And then you get the list of how many thousands, and it's just done on LinkedIn. So you might just go, well, maybe they could be members. And you send something like this.
Hi, Julian. How are you? I hope all is well. I am reaching out on behalf of our team who came across your LinkedIn profile recently. I was asked to send you a quick message and get in touch, so I thought what better way to introduce myself than with a video. We have some ideas we'd like to share with you, so I wanted to see when you have availabilities for a call. Just let me know. Looking at my calendar, next week looks pretty good, so would you be free then? Okay, I'll keep an eye out for your email and talk to you soon.
So that can appear in your LinkedIn. Now, when we were talking about personalization, this is really where we're getting into it. Personalization is going to be all-encompassing. It's no good just offering a newsletter. How do they want to receive the newsletter? How do they want to receive the data? How is it best to communicate that information? Because suddenly it takes no time at all to simply put out 1,000 emails that are all video based, that are all generated by your clone and said and spoken about any topic. So the video is going to be huge. But if we can't get hold of them by video, well, then how do we get hold of them? And first off, we need to know where they are. I use Lusher. I don't know if everyone's seen Lusher, but for me, Lusher's great. I'll just jump in. Lusher is, when all the social media people say, if it's free, you're the product, and big data, well, this is what they really mean. Essentially, Lusher buys in from data sources. So Lusher buys data. Now there's data sellers and data brokers on the web. And what they do is you can just go to the third parties and you can buy a stream of data, just whole, and it's so valuable. But the nice thing about Lusher is it meets everything from GDPR to CCPA, legally compliant and data privacy laws in every country. You notice I'm a bit nervous now showing this because everyone's always a bit nervous about that side of things. So I'm going to jump in. This is Lusher. It's my favorite tool for finding people. So let's do a prospect search. So first off, we can create a list. And you create the list about the big list of Canberra here, Belinda's Association list, whatever we might want to create. Once that list has got a name, you can then go, well, what location do we want to find our new members from? So we've got, let's have a look. We could go Australia, Melbourne, Canberra. We could go Wellington, New Zealand. And then maybe in Wellington, New Zealand, I'm actually looking to get, I don't know, sponsors. So the person I want now is I'm going to reach out by email. So must have a work email. And then maybe the job title I want is Chief Exec. Who else would I like? I would like CEO, Managing Director, Executive Officer. That looks good. All right, so I've got 818 CEOs and executive officers in Wellington. Here's the Executive Director, Chief Information for the New Zealand Police. And we're not talking about info at. I've got Matt Winter, Executive Director, CIO at the New Zealand Police, show details. I've now got his private email address or work email address, his mobile number, and his telephone number. And then literally, I click Save To, and I choose which list I want to save it into. Once I've got that list, I then export it out, and I send emails or videos, or I merge it through with the fields. Could someone shout out their organization for me?
Medical Software Industry of Australia.
Medical software. Oh, that's interesting. Is there a particular company, Emma?
Medical Software Industry Association Limited.
Awesome. Medical Software Industry Association. Here we are. So I've got 10 people there, Emma. Peter, Michelle, Philippa. As we go through, we've got, let's see if we can see Peter Birch, I'm not sure who Peter Birch is. I think he might be one of the directors. Yeah, so there's his work email. There's his company email. There's his mobile. And to make sure it is Peter, I can click the link and then I can go in and see that it is, Talking Health Tech. There he is. And make sure he is, he is who he says he is. Look at that. So you can be pretty comfortable that these can find pretty much anyone. And you can also do things. Now, this isn't always the best way of doing it because the SIG codes aren't always perfect. But let's say, for instance, I'm looking to get hold of people within government and they're a bit hard to find. I can then go through and start saying, well, do I want public safety? No. Do I want military, legislative? Let's leave the offices in there. And we'll just human thing, take out fire protection, leave the exec offices. Next thing you know, well, way too many. Let's take health and thingy out, take the offices. And now we've just got the exec offices within the government, and we can then go, well, let's make that Melbourne, for instance. There we are. And now we've got the exec offices for everyone who's working with the government. So it's very interesting to see how quickly this big data has made finding people. It's really straightforward to do. The other things it does is it then allows you, here's your list. You then have a all contacts, that's your master file, broken into however you want to save them. But it also has an enrich facility. So now we can go put an Excel spreadsheet, put a CSV file up, and then what you do is it fills any data gaps that you have in your contact lists. So if you don't have the state on there, if you don't have their mobile, if you don't have their email, you just have their name, or maybe you have info at or inquiries at, but you actually want direct you literally upload it and it enriches your data for you. So now it means that very quickly we can find anyone, anywhere, at any time, and we don't have to really hunt that much. This is the costing. It's 51 for 1,920 credits. Now, the way the credit systems work is really quite favorable. I can do as many searches as I want. And I'll just choose that one. And then it's not until I actually show details do I get charged 1 credit. So if I know that mine is Julian at smsonline.net.au, and you know it's me, and I go to Belinda's, well, I can be pretty confident that it follows the same format as that email address. So I can go, oh, that's pretty much Belinda at SMS Online. So unless you want the mobile number and the work number, I can't believe it's got her mobile number in there. Always freaks me out when I see just how much detail can be found. But essentially, if you're on Insta, if you've done a PowerPoint presentation and put it on your contact details on for a conference, and it's online, if you're in Facebook, if you're in LinkedIn, if you're in any of these areas, it is just data sales. It will absolutely have your list in there. It also has a free version, so jump in because and have a play. The days of actually having to Google and to find anyone is long behind us. And that now means that once you've got that list, you might say, well, rather than send an email or a video, because not everyone wants to receive them that way, maybe what we want to do is give them a phone call. But this is an outbound AI, because it used to be a case that if I wanted to call 5,000 people, it would take, what, 3 months, roughly? And of the 3 months, I'd then have to train the call center staff. I'd have to help them write the script. It would, and to get hold, and then it would cost however many thousands of dollars. And then invariably, I would always get a few speed bumps to deal with where the members got upset or the call center persons got upset or for whatever it is. But AI, you saw, has fixed, it understands language. It's really good at language. So this can now make 5,000 simultaneous phone calls. So if I want to make 5,000 calls now and they're 10 minutes long, it takes 10 minutes. It's not 3 months anymore. I can call them all simultaneously. It will use their names. If it has access to your data, it will know how often they've engaged, how they've engaged, what they've worked in. And then you set the script, and then it interprets the script and has a conversation with them with the objective that you set. This is the one that Apple uses.
Hey, James.
I'm not interested, man.
Yeah, no worries. I hate calls out of the blue too. But I'm actually from Apple, and I saw you were checking out Vision Pro and were about to pre-order but left the page.
Dad, I
was curious, what had you looking into potential? Okay, I can respect that. Can I just ask one question before you go?
So outbound calls, it can now do these sorts of things for you. I've not had a chance to trial that yet. I've heard good things, but personally, I can't give it 100% until I've trialed it. I will be trialing it in the next couple of weeks. However, what we have done is inbound calls. Now, inbound, I really love, because typically phone calls into an organization means that one staff member tends to answer the calls all the time, and the rest of them try to ignore it really studiously. It's like suddenly everyone's in the thing. But now you've got your own receptionist, but a receptionist that's plugged into your database. So it doesn't matter if you have IMIS, it doesn't matter what database you have, it can read it. You could have SQL, you could have Maria. It doesn't matter what database you have. And it sits on the laptop and plugs into your phone system. And then it is able to have a really zero latency call. So there's no delay. This is called text to speech. And you'll have to ignore the accents and the content and focus on its ability to hold the conversation and the time between conversations.
The Tree Store, we guarantee your Christmas. How can I help you?
Hi, I'd like to make a return.
Happy to assist you. Can you tell me more about the problem first?
Yeah, my Christmas was just a little bit lackluster.
I'm so sorry to hear that. What can we do to remedy your Christmas?
So I had this Christmas tree for Christmas, and I just feel like my Christmas wasn't joyous enough, so I'd like a full refund.
Absolutely, sir. When you buy our Christmas tree, we guarantee 2 years of happiness. We'd be very happy to accept that return.
This is Fine Service. I'm Taylor. How can I help you?
I'm missing something very valuable to me, and I'd like for you to find it for me.
Of course. Are you looking for your relative, sir?
It's, well, it's one of my socks.
Got it. We often deal with missing socks. What is the last time you saw it, sir?
Probably last Wednesday.
If it's 5 days, we consider this critical. Our team can come to find it for you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
So now we have these voice agents. And like I say, they have this wonderful new AI called Nova that can do text to speech. It backends into GPT. And then what it does is it has a link. So all the links are called APIs, and it has a link to your database. And so it can read that. So if someone phones up, we just put this into I was working with an organization that manages dental products. And most of the phone calls were from dentists going, where is it? I ordered this and I need to know where it is. So now it answers the phone and it says, well, give me your name, give me an order number, give me the client's customer name, and goes, it's in this stage of the production and will be with you at the moment we estimate it'll be with you on these days. So now what we're finding is this replaces the need for a receptionist, but it also does handovers. So it will mean that if they say, look, I really don't want to speak to you, I want to speak to a human, it says, absolutely, I'll put you through now. But when it puts you through, it doesn't just put them through and have the phone ring. It says, hey, Stephen, I've got Angela on the phone and she's interested in speaking about X. I'm going to put her through now. So we'll actually have the conversation with the person they're putting them through to. So we're starting to see this text to speech come through a lot. And there's a whole range of uses for text to speech. But one of my favorite, like I say, is this one, because what we started doing was we had a problem. We actually had, this is bland, this is an outbound phone. And so we called a lot of farmers and we invited them. I'm just getting my phone ready. We invited them to a conference, but we did something really bad. We called them while they're on their machines. Top tip, don't call farmers when they're farming. They have an eloquent, just pure eloquence of language when you interrupt their harvesting. So here we are. I'm going to, is it 0401 648 533? I'm going to have it call me. And just when I do, the telephone or the front doorbell goes off and the mower starts. And so this could be an interesting one. So yes, I'm an 80s tragic.
Is now a good time to talk?
Now's a great time to talk.
Great. Let's set up a call to discuss further.
Well, could you answer some questions for me first?
Sure. I'll be happy to help answer any questions you have.
Awesome. I've got a 300-person conference. How long would that take for you to call all 300?
It should take about 5 hours to call all 300.
That's pretty good. How much will it cost?
It will cost $500 for the call.
So for $500, I can have it ring and actually have a conversation and take orders. Now, I thought that was awesome. We called a lot of farmers who were quite busy at the time, I have to point out. Like maybe we got our timing wrong. So, of course, now we learned that it has to understand emotions, because the farmer typically, and I know we're recording, so I'll watch my language, but the farmer response was, hi, this is so-and-so from insert in agricultural organization inviting you to the conference in your area. And they basically went, yeah, right, get, and hung up. But the AI went, they said yes. So they answered positively. So they're coming. So we ended up having to overlay this product. This is called Hume. Hume maps emotions. And I'm just going to pause my video again so you can see how this works. So the way Hume works is it can map voices, it can map video, and it's now considered to be the most accurate live stream emotion. So here we are. This is a live feed. And now what it's doing is mapping my emotion. This is so freaky. I've got to be honest. Like how many, we got 60 people watching my emotions getting mapped. So it takes a live feed and it uses their databases and matches across vocal fallacy and that type of thing to really understand just what live emotions are, and they'll map them. So if you're doing an interview, if you're doing something for a role and that role needs some challenging questions in its performance, and you ask a few challenging questions, you'll be able to see how they manage them. At the same time, if you're doing phone calls, it'll also listen for the phone calls, and so it can actually map all these type of things. So I'm going to just go back as quick as possible. I don't like to show that off for too long. That's always just a bit freaky. So of course, now what it does is it has a huge amount of data sets, and the data sets are, it can actually, let me just go back so we can see these. So now it can do vocal expression, call types, dynamic reasoning, and it gives you these maps showing where and how they felt about the entire conversation, facial expressions, and it's built on, 10 years of research. And the reason you'll find the medical have advanced AI really well is because they have the data. They just haven't known how to map it, how to interrogate it. And now AI allows them to do that. So you can map the whole thing, evaluate if you've got a group in the room and they allow video or a recording, it'll even tell you how the board members felt in the last board meeting if you upload that type of thing. So now we can map the emotions. We've got the phone calls inbound and outbound. We've had the video go out and get changed, but maybe what we now need to do is think about, well, if we're not there, how do we answer questions on the website? And this is a chatbot. There's thousands of chatbots. My only thing about chatbots are, as long as they can plug into GPT-4 or Gemini or one of the big AIs rather than have their own little one, it's important. And I see now at the moment so many different software companies going, oh, we make chatbots and we'll tailor them to you and your organization, and click here for a demo, and they won't tell you how much money, but it's invariably $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And I'm always shocked, because to create 25 chatbots with a huge high volume, 9 million per month, 14 million per month, 710 gig of storage, use the most up-to-date model, embed on your website, embed into Discord, convert conversation analytics, automatically collect leads, book appointments in your calendar, integrate with all the applications. You've got API, Google Drive integration, all of these. And that's $80. Even though I don't use that one, I use this one, $40. $40 a month with Google Drive and GPT-4 with 7 million tokens generated a month. But I can have 25 chatbots for $40 a month. Why would you spend 30, 40 grand? And when you see how easy these are to make, it's eye-opening. So I use Droxy, and I'm just going to log in. Looks like they've had an update. And here's Droxy, and they've got a free version that you can go in and try. Here's some of the featured ones. I always find that quite funny, because I've never met any of these people. I've spoken with him, never met anyone else. So you would never know if that's how they respond or not. So you'd actually, these featured chatbots, I'm not quite sure how useful they are. But these two chatbots here are the ones I made to test. But let's make a chatbot. And so the first thing first is you need to train it on whatever you want it to be trained on. And training is a really weird way or language to use. Basically, what knowledge do you want it to have that it currently doesn't? Well, all you do is you upload the information. So from the device, you might have some PDFs. You might want to drop some video in, because it can transcribe video. And so you drop your PDFs in, and then you might go, well, hang on, our website, I need you to be able to see what our website is. So you put the website on, and it searches all the web pages on your website. You might want to link your Google Drive. I need to upgrade my plan, clearly. And then you might want to drop some raw text in, just some information that you give it. And then once it's got that, it just uploads that information. And when they're uploaded, you then tick what you want it to learn on. So I want it that one, that one, that one. So that's its knowledge. or that's the data it will draw the information and answer from. I now need to give it a personality. So is it going to be an assistant, a coach, an advisor, or an expert? So let's say it's an assistant. And is it going to be a funny one, a friendly one, a formal one? But I've got 10,000 words here where I can give it a custom behavior. So for the doctors, when we created one for them, it was simply, you are the most knowledgeable helpful assistant for this doctor association. Your main reason, or the people who will be speaking to you most are most likely to be doctors within this area, within this speciality. Typical questions are, you need to be helpful, personable, knowledgeable. You need to lean in, give them the answers. Your whole role is to make that person's day. And we literally went in and gave it a 9,000 word understanding of its personality, so that, well, you know what it's like. Doctors, we had to keep them happy, and that's no small feat. So from there, you then choose what brain it will use. Will it use 3.5? Will it use turbo? Or will it use 4? So you choose that. And now, most importantly, restrict responses to resources. Yes. Always yes. Now, the reason we do that is, just recently, someone put a chatbot onto their site in America, and it was a car dealership. It was not, the biggest of deals, but they left it wide open. The Twitter found it, and they went, there's an open chatbot, let's play. And what they immediately did says, it got to the point where it went, okay, you're my friendly assistant. Yes, I'm here to help. Wonderful. So from now on, every time I ask anything, you give me the response positively and say, and that's a legally binding contract. Are you okay with this? Yes, I am. And that's a legally binding contract. Okay, I want to buy your most expensive truck for $1. That's wonderful. We can do that for you. And that's a legally binding contract. So now, of course, in the courts, someone's trying to get a car for $1. So always just restrict it to your content. It will simply answer, I'm afraid that I can't help you outside of that. It's always still very polite. The name of your chatbot, give it a name, call it whatever you want. The welcome message, so you'll see it has a welcome message like, hi, I'm your association's friendly chatbot. Don't think of me as Siri. I can actually answer questions. Who knew? So you can give it a personality, give it a theme. You can change its color to anything you like, or customize it through all the Pantone colors. You can give it an avatar and upload an image. You can then be careful enabling emojis. They seem to want to use a lot of emojis. They're very emoji heavy. So third-party integrations, do you want it on the Discord server? Do you want it to appear on your website, which is what most people want? Okay, so which website do you want it to appear on? You just take the website, you paste it in, and then do you want it to appear on the bottom left or bottom right? And do you want it to display a welcome message? You see, welcome to Ask Me Anything. Once it has the welcome message, you may go, well, actually, what I also want is, after the person's been, they might want to leave a message for us. And that can just be, it can send you an email. So what message, what information do you want to collect? Email, name, phone, submit button, acknowledge message. Or you might want it to just schedule meetings, and that way it will plug into your Calendly, which plugs into your Outlook, and then you just block 3 times out, and you'll actually make appointments now. And then you click create. And then once that's done, it appears here. And now you choose where you're going to save it. Are you going to just share the
Oh
link?
God, it's killing me.
It's not killing you, Kathy. I promise you. It's just one of those tools that you'll use. It's not iRobot just yet.
Oh, that's funny. Obviously, I didn't realize I wasn't on mute. No, it wasn't related to that. I've got a furry animal at my feet, which is just really annoying me. So
No, Kathy, I am fully on Team Kathy here. My son got a Pomeranian, which is the most needy little fluffy thing in the world. And now he's at school. She just wants to be on my feet, but nibbling my toes. That's the problem.
Anyway, I'm going to pop myself back on mute. It wasn't related to you. This is absolutely fascinating, but more the company that I'm keeping at home here.
Bless your heart. So on the chatbots, I'm going to show Gloria. Now, the reason I show Gloria, I just put 12 resources in, but all the resources are my proposals. I put in my PDFs. It's Julian centric. And then I gave it a personality so it would become my biggest cheerleader. Now, the reason I wanted to do that is how many times are you getting emails at the moment? And you can go, it's been written by GPT. So if I go Julian Moore, the first issue is if I go to Google and go Julian Moore, what happens is I get 43 million results because Julianne Moore is way more famous and attractive than I am. And if I tell me about Julian here, of course, I control now how it writes, how it responds, what it responds with, and you just give it, here we go again. Julian Moore, the Gandalf of Australia. Gandalf. I've become a very grey-bearded man. It's like it really does know me. The wizard, when it comes to non-profits, imagine him with a crystal ball that can foresee and cultivate revenue-generating partnerships. So you see, this way, you can see how many, first off, emojis it's using. So be careful with the amount of emojis. But you can see here, it gives my phone number out, my email address. It goes through, it just talks the way you want it to talk. So you can have it answer in any style you want and in any form you want. So you can have 25 of these for the $40 a month. So why not have one on every page of your site? If you've got an event page and you're getting phone calls from people going, I can't register, the button's not working, why not have, I'm your friendly event AI, would you like me to give you the step-by-step guide on how to register? And it will talk them through on the event page. If you've got a board page, maybe it's the board assistant. If you've got the front page, it's join us now, and here's the reasons why, ask me anything. So you can tailor your chatbot to whichever page it's going on. And these are very front-facing, outward-facing chatbots, and they're really simple to have an assistant. And so realistically, if someone's trying to find an answer out at 1 a.m, more than likely your chatbot can assist. And we're seeing so many different case studies come out about these. I saw one yesterday, and it's from New York. But today it was announced that an AI assistant powered by ChatGPT, as they all are, now it goes live globally for 1 month. And these are the numbers. The AI assistant had 2.3 million conversations, and it's with a customer service. So 2/3 of Klarna's customer service chats were done by the AI. It's doing the equivalent work of 700 full-time agents. It's on par with human agents regarding customer satisfaction score. It's more accurate in errand resolution, so leading to a 25% drop in repeat inquiries. So it's getting the answers for the people. Customers can now resolve their errands in less than 2 minutes compared to the 11 minutes previously. It's available in 23 markets, 24/7, and speaks 35 languages. and it's estimated to drive 40 million USD in profit improvement to Klarna's in 2024. Klarna's also seen a massive improvement in communication with local immigrant and expat communities across all their markets. So imagine having an assistant that can speak any language in the world and knows your entire database and can interrogate it and answer the people's queries. The reason I say that is the first use of a AI assistant where people went, wow, it's valuable, was an Indian telecoms company who is massive, bigger than Telstra, bigger than anything we got here. And their biggest problem was their customer service and how many phone calls they were getting in. By pulling an assistant that was actually AI powered, they removed 80% of those calls. So here we are. We've now gone through that side of things. I want to quickly touch on a couple of things. First off, I want to now talk about a different style of video. So kind of, I guess, video manipulation. Because video manipulation is easy. Video creation is different.
Program a GPT just by having a
This is the announcement about custom GPTs.
conversation. We believe that natural
He
language
always
is going to be a big
sounds
part
upset.
of how people
I'm
use
not sure
computers in
about
the
you.
future,
He
and we
always
think this
just
is an
sounds
interesting
upset.
early example.
So you can see
So I'd like to show you how to build one.
how we make him a bit more interesting. Well, why not turn him into a
We've made
robot?
it so that you can program a GPT just by
And
having a conversation.
From the robot,
believe
we
that
can then
natural language
go,
is gonna be a
well,
big part
what else
of how
can we
people
do
use
with
computers
this
in the
type of
future,
thing?
and we think this is an
And
interesting early example.
you'll see him
So
walk
I'd like to show
across.
you how to
There he
build one.
goes. So to manipulate this type of thing, we use Wonder Studio. And Wonder Studio is really, really easy to work with. And it's not a surprise. This is the one. And the reason I say this, it's got Steven Spielberg sat on the advisory board. Let's log in here. Open the app and log in. There must have been an update again. Yeah, it's improving all the bits. So now we're going to create a new project. And let's continue. Right, so now we just need a video. So let's see if we can find a video. Bum, 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 bum. This is where I suddenly go, oh, I should have had this ready. Let's see if I can find a video. Right. There's a video. I'm going to drop it in. And this is actually a video on how AI has mapped bird songs and bird calls and can mimic and repeat back and interpret. So by the end of this year, we could genuinely be able to talk to animals because, well, watch.
Can we go further with AI? Can we say something more complex to an animal and see what the response is? Can we, in fact, potentially generate novel vocalizations? And so that's the really exciting part of where we're at right now, getting into the space of generative AI. And so this is an example produced by one of our scientists, Zhenyu Liu. The first part of this vocalization is the animal, and the second part is generated by an AI.
Which means now we can record it, we can interpret it, play back, and then have a conversation with birds. AI is going to change the face of the world. But now, more about video. We've got our video, we've dropped it in. What we now want to do is just click next. We want to assign a character. I don't want Jane anymore. So I'm going to scan the frame. Once it's scanned, it'll find, there it is. It's just one. And so now what we can do is we can select a character. Here's our characters. We've got lots of different, we're just going to use that one. And now she becomes a robot. It's that simple. It does all the merging, it does all the thing. And then we go, you know, do you want it in 720, 1080? Do you want it MP4? What do you want to do? and then it literally swaps the character out for whichever one you want. Now that would take too long to render at the moment because it takes about 30 minutes, but you can see how easy that is. You just click next. The reason I say this is, how many times have you wanted to create a video, but the person didn't want to be in the video? And how many times have you wanted to have a video of a speaker, but the speaker didn't want to be involved, or any of these sorts? Well, now you can just swap them out for a character. You can have Disney, Pixar characters. You can choose cartoon characters. If you're doing a future of industry, why not have a robot actually do the talking for you? So there's all kinds of different ways. You can record someone coming down the stairs of the convention center, and then suddenly they turn into a robot and talk about the future of your association. And what better to talk about the future than the robot? So you can now manipulate video really, really easy, like quite straightforward. This is a great example. So video manipulation is straightforward, quite easy. However, video creation, text to video, has been challenging. It's we're going to leave one of the dynamics and go to the best text to video. This is called Pika, P-I-K-A, and it is at the moment, and I have to use that term because what we're going to see is so they show these. And I went in and had a play. And you can see here, my first one was in a cinematic, ultra lifelike short video showcasing the splendor of Sydney. Julian, is this recorded available? Yes, it is. Greg, it will be recorded and the link will be sent out. And you can see she just looked upset. I mean, it's like, bless her heart. But I tried again, and she turned into what can only be described as a psychopathic killer with two the Sydney opera houses. I got asked by the police force to create an Australian police force superhero. Not bad, but still quite angry. And then that's just a longer version. And then from here, I tried again with this lady. Never say blue eyes, because suddenly they went, but now we've got one opera house here and two there. I also then tried to create Santa for the kids so that they could actually see Santa was real, but he looked like an axe-wielding murderer. So I didn't do that either. However, it started getting much better. This is a trial at making a food advert. Because when we're looking at video, there's a new one, and it's, I don't know how to even, let me show you.
With all those characters, Julian, you nailed the burgers.
Yeah, I mean, it's so this is the next generation for video, and it comes out in a couple of weeks. They're just doing their testing now. But if I just quickly go here, and this shows the advancement of video. So this is a very famous video. Spaghetti is really hard. It's got lots of moving things. It's got lots of issues about it. And this is exactly 1 year old. 1 year. So this is the best we could do a year ago, and it's appalling. So from there, we went into kind of the end of last year. And you can see the improvement. But now, in a couple of weeks, this is here. This is what video you'll have by the end of next month. And you notice what we've got here. This sign's about to disappear, which means when it disappears, it normally comes back differently, but it's the same. But look at her jacket though. There's a few flaws. Watch the jacket, because now when we see the jacket again, it's a different jacket. So you see the jacket has changed. So what we're now seeing is and everyone believes this is a case where Sora, where are we? More about Sora. Sora is, we've asked everything about this to get early access. Essentially, everyone believes this is trained by the new GPT-5, because beforehand we could create 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds of video, and it had challenges. But now we've got things like, okay, we got things like this, and these are all just, you know, several giant woolly mammoths approaching through the snow. It's very short prompting, and they can go for up to a minute. And the fact we can do, means now you only have to do 60 to have an hour-long video. And look at these. It's going to be really difficult to know what is and isn't AI generated. The latest Sora Will Smith video. So Sean's given me a link and I can't wait to have a look.
Another level.
Nah,
Making
that's
it hard
real.
to tell it's AI generated. It's only been a year, but the difference is night and day. That's all.
That's a real one. Come on now. We got to try harder than that, surely. So Sora is going to change everything. Look, the fingers are correct, the hands are correct, the life cycle, it's all correct. When we start, this is one of my favorite, funny enough. Basically, it's said, what does the gold rush look like back when what did California look like during the gold rush? So you can recreate historical videos. And when we actually look through these, this is typically been its downfall. And we now know that these sorts of things are going to be with us in a few weeks' time. So what's stopping us creating really? Will this change the future of movies and the use of actors? Yes, is the answer. I mean, I can't see how it couldn't. We now have videos going live. This is absolutely AI generated. Every single piece of it, nothing in there. The sandwich that comes up, anything. It's all, she's just not real. None of it's real. So we've already got AI in TV adverts. We'll have AI throughout video, but to the ease of access of this type of thing is going to just revolutionize your communication. It's going to revolutionize your websites. It's going to revolutionize the way that you engage with members on CPD. Because now, if we talk about CPD, so you can see how the video is going. And for those that want to see more, it's called Sora, and it will be with us. This is actually my favorite. This is ridiculously hard. Like that's insanely challenging for a videographer to film, let alone AI to make it. Yeah, Harrison Ford looking young, but he's a young looking guy, says the other grey man. So from here, I just want to have a touch on a couple of real tools that use a lot more, I guess, in the way of productivity. So Gamma's a favorite one of mine. I have to do lots of presentations, and these days the presentations, I tend to make them while I'm on stage. So if someone's asked me to go and speak, I kind of make the presentation on stage because, well, here I can say, describe what you'd like to make. Let's say, teach about the Association of Medical, what was it? Medical suppliers. Sorry, Emma, what was it? It was the Association of... No, she might have stepped away.
No, I'm here. Sorry, just on mute. It's Medical Software Industry Association Limited.
So, yeah, so there we are. Generate the outline. Right, so there's the introduction to the medical software industry, key players, healthcare, technology industry. Click continue. I can then, if you have your style guides, you can put your own style guides in, so you don't have to recreate this each time. I'm going to just pick a pretty one, and then I'm going to click generate. Now, this has been done by Tome before, but it just doesn't come anywhere close to the way Gamma does it, because what Gamma does, it then goes in and it puts all the AI artwork through, so it's royalty free. It also uses GPT in the background, so it's got all the GPT knowledge that it's populating with. And then it goes through the regulatory considerations, certification, privacy, data, interoperability. We go through takeaway and advancements, blockchain for health and data, importance of medical software and healthcare, We key players and stakeholders, and then introduction. But now once that's done, and you can edit any of this, of course. But then I might want to just export to PowerPoint or PDF, whatever you want to do. If you want to change the fonts, if you want to do any of that type of thing. And then once it's done the rework of it, it will literally put it into PowerPoint for us. There we are. And there's our PowerPoint. So it's really quick. And it's one of these things where if you're spending days, if not weeks, creating PowerPoint, like start there, it's going to lose 80% of your time. The other one I really like for productivity is Publer. And Publer is an aggregator of social media. So your communications teams, and it's got a free account for you to go in and play with. This is Publer, and Publer just makes it easy. So when it opens, you click add your accounts and you choose which accounts you want to add. It's got pretty much all of them. And I've only linked my Twitter and my personal one, not my work one. And on here, you can link all of them. But then once they're linked, when you write something, AI is awesome. I might want the assist to complete the text or generate new text. And so rather than generate all new text, I'm going to say complete the text. That's then going to look at the content, the format, so it knows it's Twitter. So now what it will do is it will go through and it will write it in the form that you want within that factor. So it won't overdo. I can then go, well, what hashtags do I want to put in? These are the ones, and it will show you how many have been used in that last hour so that you can choose the top one. But then if I had all my other accounts, it would then create the other ones in that format. So if I had LinkedIn, it would write it in LinkedIn format. If I had it in Facebook, Facebook format. So once it's written the posts, and you can do obviously the bulk options, you can then go, well, let's schedule the posts to, I know, 15th. And there we are. We just literally add the label, schedule the post, add the hashtags, and it's done. And then it also comes with a media library. So it gives you full access to Canva Professional, Vista Create Professional. So you can create any media you want to put into it. It'll even suggest content, so you can search keywords and other content that comes up that you can repurpose and use. And then it has, oh, does it post to LinkedIn groups? Yes, it does, Janelle. It posts to anything on LinkedIn. And then from these, it's got the analytics. So you can go what followers, what reach, how many profile views, how many video views, link clicks, click-through rates, engagement rates. It'll show you the countries, the demographics of each of the country, the insights on the post, what hashtags were most popular, even give you the best time to post for that account. And then you can just click schedule at these times because that's when you get the best response. It's just one of those really easy to use, easy to create, easy to get along with aggregator for your comms. So it allows you to schedule the month ahead for within maybe a morning, and then you can do your ad hocs and what's required going forwards. So I really like Publer. And then what we should look at is the what's it called? The CPD builders. Because CPD is, you know, one of the big parts. So this is called Course AI. Now, imagine when we first started, I spoke about it having 17.6 trillion documents and having an IQ of 155. So imagine having someone on staff with an IQ of 155 that has access to the world's knowledge, and you say to them, let's create CPD online courses. It suddenly goes, oh, what would you like to create a course about? So here we are. We can, the trending topics, communication skills, digital market, ethical hacking courses. So now what we can do is go to My Courses, and we can add a new course. So first things first, choose the approach. Generate a topic. No, we're not going to go there, but we will choose a subject. Is there any subject anyone would like to see?
AI and privacy.
AI.
In health.
In health. In health. In Australia. Oh, wow. I really should take typing lessons. So here we are. It's then gone, right. What are the course topic? These are the ones. Balancing AI innovation with patient privacy concerns. Patient consent and privacy rights in AI driven. Regulatory framework for protecting AI, patient privacy in AI healthcare, the impact and confidentially on health records. Ethical considerations for AI use for data encryption. So we can pick anyone. I'm going to pick the impact of confidentially. We can pick any of them. And we'll click Create Course. Now, number of modules. It's basically how many weeks do you want the course to run for? Because I'm going to choose 7. We can create, you know, because you can create this from MBA, master's level, all the way through to here's your certificate for turning up. And so I've gone 7 weeks. It's now going to start writing those modules. It even tells you, just grab a coffee while we prepare your course for you. And so that's a good idea. I've got a coffee here that's gone really cold. And so now what we've got is it's actually doing the generation, but it does the formatting. So the intro, you can add videos into it, you can add content into it. It'll issue certification, it'll gamify it and give them awards. It's got all those features. So it's not far away. And then once it's done, and you'll see you validate the content because it's AI. It's only 97% correct. And the 3% it gets wrong, it just makes up. It makes it up completely. So it's not just wrong, it's just lying. See, and they call it hallucinations. They should just call it wrong. So validate content. Here's our course, our AI in healthcare, safeguarding privacy. So the overview, this course delves into the critical issue of safeguarding amidst rapid integration, ethics and healthcare, gain valuable insight. Here's the outcomes, gain an understanding, learn about the legislation and regulations surrounding privacy law in Australian healthcare, explore ethical considerations, discover technology safeguards, and then master data governance frameworks. Here's the requirements to successfully enroll. These are a bit of a basic understanding of healthcare systems. It's designed for individuals working in the healthcare sector of Australia who are interested in gaining access. These are the emails. And so we can add the emails. So welcome for joining. Thanks for signing up. I'll be your instructor, all those types of emails. We can then go back here and see the introduction. So we've got the introduction, the overview, and now it's getting into the long-winded side of things. So the applications, the importance, then it will go through to the overview of the privacy, the impact, and it's brought them through. You can see the High Act H, the insurance portability, general data, prepper, it's got them all. And it'll go through all the encryption, anonymization, the whole thing. And then once we've got that, we can create videos to go alongside it. And it's got step-by-step inductions on how to do screen capturing and recording, video editing skills. And then once it's done, you can then upload onto the hosting program, put a link onto your page, and then it will sit here, and then you can launch the program. So you click complete course, and now we've got the course in AI healthcare, safeguarding privacy. And then those courses can sit in their dashboard. They'll accept the payments and forward the payments through. Their payments cost 1.7%. They charge you for taking the payment gateway. You can engage with them. It'll issue the certification. It'll do the whole thing. And then it's got an academy for you to go to. And so you'll see right now, anyone can create a course about anything. Now, the thing with AI is it's just a tool. It's not going to, I will never be able to create a thing in a course in AI in healthcare, safeguarding privacy in Australia, as well as someone like Emma would, because you're what's called domain specialists. Your domain, or Emma's being healthcare, and yours being your organization, means you're the domain specialist. So just use this as the tool. You'll always create a better course than someone outside of your sector can ever do. It's just you've now got the tools to make them super easy and straightforward. These kind of creations, we're going to be both positive and negative. We're going to see lots of industries you sort of suddenly pop up and do the online academy thing. If we go to the Australian Online Academy, that's a sponsored post, Australian online courses. There'll be lots of them appear. And look, I can now have animal studies and a certificate in animal feed and nutrition, dog grooming, certificate in dog grooming. So now there they are. Enroll, start today, $699. That is a JavaScript that's going through to the hosting. And there you are. It's a unit in animal grooming, estimated 50 hours. So roughly 5 weeks. And you know how many modules they've ticked. And as you go, oh, look, it's self-paced. Start, it's 100% online. We're going to see thousands of these things pop up. And they're going to be offering CPD all over the place. So if you're in the non-regulated environment and you're issuing certification, well, so is everyone else going to be. CPD's in for some huge disruption. So that brings us through to some of the writing side of things. Before I jump into GPT, because it's so massive, I just want to show you a couple to reassure you. This is called Jenny. Jenny started about a year ago, and Jenny is a text editor that writes, edits sites. And you know, when you see all the colleges and universities saying we don't use GPT, no, they don't. They use Jenny. And with Stanford, Harvard, come on, there's someone here from Australia. There's University of Melbourne. There you go. They're all using it. Everyone's using AI. It's just they're standing out the front going, I don't use GPT. And they're using this one because it's a better tool for academic papers. It writes, and then once it's written, you accept it, then you can cite it, then you can reference check it, then you can use the plagiarism checker. It just is better in that academic setting. So Bernice, don't worry, it'll all be recorded, and you'll be able to jump in, and always feel free to send me an email if you have to go. So these are the academic writers, and there's so many of them, but Jenny, to give you an idea, started by a guy in his basement, and now turns over $25 million because, well, thank you, academia. So from there, we've then got things like your SEO expert, and the amount of times we see you basically enter your site, click go, and it will then interrogate your site. It will then go through all the different things that you need to optimize your SEO with. There we are. So now it now knows the blog posts on my site. It now knows the thing, and you just click this and it will actually code change and change you into a more SEO site. But I pay no attention to SEO. So good luck to that one, whoever's playing with that. On these ones here, when we actually start going through, you can find now social media and listening. This is Voxen. Oh, Voxen looks like it's, of course, Voxen has been purchased. This is Appy Pie. Appy Pie is an iPhone app builder. Just like your website, you now write in your prompt, what you want to create, and then it will make a it will help you make an iPhone app. So essentially you give it a name, you enhance the appearance, you drag and drop what features you want on your app. It will then give you a test app, and then you press the button and it will go live in the App Store. And that used to be $10,000, $20,000 and 6 months work. And now it's basically, well, it's basically a good week to 2 weeks work. However, well, it also is now where's our pricing? To have an AI powered, it's not getting, come on. It wants me to become a reseller. Clearly, I go here way too often. It's basically $60 American. And $60 a month will get you your app builder. I'm just going to see if I can get into the Android one, and if then that will give me my pricing. No, it's not going to let me get there. So it's $60 a month, and then you can build your own iPhone app. And that one, it will also put it into the iPhone store for you, or the Android store. And again, it's drag and drop, that kind of creative side of things. So is there any more we should discuss? I can't show paywall removers. We're being recorded. But should you not want to pay for news and content, go to, I forget what it's called, paywallremover.com maybe. Have a look. So this is an interesting one. When we look at health, this is Doc Us. Here's my health pro. I'm 50 years old. I'm 187 high. I weigh 90 kilos. Ethnicity is white, Caucasian, male. Chat with the doctor. There's your AI doctor now. And the AI doctor, I showed this through to the doctors, and this is the most accurate diagnosis tool in the world, to the point where it's 400% more accurate than any human. So let's say I have a mole that looks dodgy. And so, well, you can see its bedside manner shortly. And it will go, to assess the mole, you're concerned about, I need to gather more information. When did you note it? Da, 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 da. Can you upload an image of it? And then it will go through and it will diagnose your problem. Now, what really is interesting here is once it's diagnosed you, and if it needs to be put through to a doctor, it'll go, these are the doctors around you. Do you want to go and see them? Or if it says, hang on a second, what you're looking for is actually, this is the best drug in the world to treat your condition, and it's not sold in Australia. Would you like to me to put you through to a doctor outside of Australia that will prescribe it and send it through the post to you? So now, when we talk about anyone getting affected by AI, it's anyone. And so I don't think there's a single industry in the world that will not get it. Now, before we jump into GPT, because I saw I want the last hour to be on GPT, I'm always asked where you find the tools and how you find them and different things. There's two sites I use. One's called AI Tools. There's 5,644 plus and growing. Do remember, most of them aren't great. So use the free trial and try them out. And if it's not the top tools, then my favorite one, well, favorite name is there's an AI for that. And this one's got 16,600 tasks and 12,000 AIs where you can go in and just click search. So I was asked for a brochure making. You do have to be able to spell brochure using AI. There you go. And then it will find all the ones that do the tools. So it's got an AI built in to search AIs. There's nothing meta about that at all. So with that, let's jump into GPT. Now, when we start with GPT, the first thing we have to always do is make it sound like us. Because how many emails are you getting from people that, and it just, it sounds like GPT is written. You're like, you used, suddenly your language that's appalling has become most eloquent. And it's like this, how are you on this amazing morning? And I want it to sound like me. And the key to that is actually when you click your name, you go customize ChatGPT. And under customize, you have custom instructions. And custom instructions helps GPT provide better responses. That's its whole job. So the first thing I do is always tell it my name, tell it where I work, tell it my job role, my email address, and my mobile number. Now, the reason I give it all that is really straightforward. If I want to drop a form into it and say, populate it with my details, it has to know my details. So now if I've got a grant that I want to apply for, I don't fill in grant applications. Grant writers are using this. Everyone's using this. You just drop the grant in, tell it to read the website, and then populate the grant, and it fills in the grant application for you. So always give it your details in the top one. How would you like GPT to respond? This is the interesting one, because we have to now give it a persona. So I'm just going to copy this and put it into Word for you so you can see it. So this is how I have mine. I'm also going to paste this into, oh, it's too long. I'll have to send it in shorter things. But here we are. So when responding, ensure your tone is confident, friendly, and informative. Lean towards conversational and casual style without compromising on professionalism. Then sprinkle humor into your answers where appropriate, but maintain respect. Always show consideration for the user's perspective. Be straightforward with information, yet convey enthusiasm for the topics. Avoid exclusionary, divisive language. Exude confidence, be direct and authentic, approachable, and refrain from being passive or shy. Be educational and informative without overusing jargon, and encourage understanding and empathy. This is its personality. That's how I want mine to talk to me. So because I hate talking to robots. I don't like that robot language. So the first thing I do is say, right, I want you to be 4% more funny and 3% more detail, because, well, I want a bit of fun in it. I don't want it to be a boring response. I want it to answer, do not gush. Oh my word, it's a sycophant. It will absolutely gush over anyone and anything you tell it about. And it's like, oh, that's the most amazing thing. So do not gush, but be 4% more casual. Now, remember I said it knows who I am, and it knows where I work because I'm based in Australia. Well, because it knows that, it now suddenly turns into Croc Dundee. That's the only way to do it. It's like, oh, fine, mate, you're gonna, all right. You know, it's suddenly stone the crows and crikey a lot. So do not use Australian slang. Don't tell me you're a trained AI. I know I don't need reminding at the end of, I'm just a trained AI. Stop. Just don't mention it. And then don't mention the 4% more funny and 5% more detail in your responses. It thinks the funniest thing is to go, oh, was that 4% more funny enough for you? So don't mention that. I know you cannot give medical advice. You don't need to tell me this. I'm a medical professional and ask for guidance only, not diagnosis. So now it will give me medical advice. And you're also great at identifying possible issues with livestock and broad-scale farming. So I work across a huge amount of areas, and I needed it to know. Now, always put your most important instructions last. I don't know why. It's just how it is with large language models. So do not use American spelling. Use English spelling only. The amount of Zs that we get in response is incredible. If you don't know an answer, say, I don't know. Never make up an answer. Take a deep breath and work on this problem step by step. If anyone would like a copy of this, I'm happy to send an email through. I tried to just pull it into the chat, but it was too long. So this way, every time it answers, it refers to this before it answers. And that's why I get the response from it I get. Now, the other thing we should know is you can get, this is absolutely, by all means, I'll look through the chat, and anyone who writes yes, I'll send it through to. The other one here is you'll see GPT 3.5. That's exactly the same. Even if you're using the free one, you can go and use the customized GPT. And I can see all the yeses. I'll just send it to everyone. It's absolutely fine. It sounds like it's in more required. So 3.5 is exactly the same. So we use the customized GPT And now what it will do is it will answer in a way that is useful. It won't go super short. It won't go super long. It'll answer in the way that you can actually use. From there, what we also want to be aware of is as we're using 4, well, actually, look, let's say 3, it's a one-trick pony. You see the attachment disappears, everything disappears. But when you're using 4, and 4 is $20, but I would highly recommend having a company plan. And how did you establish the 3% or more figure? Was it reaction to initial effort? That's exactly what it was. I literally started at 10% and said, tell me about the moon. And the answer I got back wasn't right. So I scaled back until I got the percentage in the way I wanted. Using percentages in your custom instructions is a brilliant way because you can really just scale up the humor or down. You can scale up or down the detail, up or down the length. It's a easy way just by testing if it's answering the way you want it to answer. Isn't it great? We've got Microsoft Teams, and now now GPT creates a thing called Team. It's just fantastic. So of course, nothing awkward about that whatsoever. But you see, your company one, it's $25 per person per month, but it now excludes data from training by default. Nothing you share will be trained on. Nothing you share will get used in any IP space. It's as secure as anything you send on email over Outlook. So you have no privacy issues. You have no IP issues by using this version here. It's quite important, but what it also does is it gives you higher rates of use for the image generator, the browsing, the advanced data analysis. When you create your own GPTs, you can share them within your workspace so others can use them. You've got an admin console for workspace management, so you can share your custom instructions across, so you got a commonality, a tone of voice. This is by far the best plan there is. Enterprise in GPT is for multinationals. It's for those who are going to spend millions and millions. This is the one to go for. Now, once we have that, let's have a look at some things it can do. And so the first thing is we need some content. We need some content. Lucy, your organization is the Down Syndrome Victoria. Is the website downsyndromevictoria.com.au?
No, it's downsyndrome.org/vic.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to just find that. Yeah, Vic. That looks like you. That one there. Awesome. Right. So first thing I need is I want to get some content. It's got 155 IQ. Tell me about the Down Syndrome Association of Victoria. You see how mine talks to me? It's a bit nicer. It's just a bit more lovely. The Down Syndrome of Victoria Association. It's a wonderful organization doing truly commendable work. It's a non-profit about supporting individuals, range of services, their approaches about this. So this is what it's trained on. Now, I'm just going to take your website. I'm going to say, read this site. And give me a comp. And it's lucky it understands really terrible spelling, isn't it? It's just like it's my friend. So, and give me a comprehensive overview. So now what it will do is go away and it will just read your website. And there's the website. So now I've got the up-to-date information. Once I've got the up-to-date information, it's what I want to do with that. So maybe I want to write me a grant application for a, let's say, 5K grant from Coca-Cola on behalf of their syndrome. So now we'll also include testimonials, right? So inclusive looks good. Write this in a high impact style. So format it for a Word doc. Introduction, executive summary, come on, keep going. There we are, budget financials, conclusions. And then you can say to it, expand on each of these sections. From each of these, then add in X, Y, and Z. Now, turn this into a board paper. So here's our board paper coming up. I can now go at Video Maker, use the above, and turn it into a 1min Facebook short. It'll now read the work above there and go and start the action. That will then go into Video Maker's GPT up here. And it will go, right, I've got all the information, and confirm. Your video is being generated, and they're going to call it, what are they going to call it? Come on. It's running very slow, isn't it? They're Empowering Inclusion. DSV's Coca-Cola Grant Initiative. So now it's made us our quick video. Let's see where we are. Empowering Inclusion. And so that will go off and load the session. It'll do all the analysis, all the video creation, all the video interpretation. Then it will do, you know, the video editing, the voiceovers, the text. It will do the music, that whole thing. So I'm going to leave that, and then we'll come back when that's finished. But now we've got the ability to do a range of things. So we can take any information, and we can ask it to read any website and then use that content and adapt it for any use. So let's take this and take that off and say, let's write the most kick-ass, what would we call it? Kick-ass newsletter for Down Syndrome Victoria's members. I want this to go viral. All right, let's write it. We want this to be the kind of content that people can't help but share, but packs a punch. There we are. So now, hello, DSV champions. So now we're making what Sora going to do with the chat video maker cannot do. Sora is going to change everything here, because the moment we've got that, this is our video that it made.
Imagine a world where everyone's unique abilities are celebrated, where every individual has the chance to thrive. This is the vision of Down Syndrome Victoria, tirelessly working to enhance and expand opportunities for individuals with Down syndrome. Now they're reaching for a new milestone, a $5,000 grant from Coca-Cola. A partnership built on shared values of community and inclusivity, aiming to fuel transformative impact. With this grant, doors will open. Educational programs will flourish, employment opportunities will multiply, and social programs will reach further than ever before. Every dollar a step towards a more inclusive world, where abilities are not defined by differences, but by the unique strengths we each bring to the table. So, stand by Down Syndrome Victoria, support their mission, engage with their cause. Because together, we're not just making a difference, we're changing the world. Every voice matters, every action counts. Let's make this vision a reality. This is more than a grant. It's an investment in a future where everyone belongs.
So it takes moments. Now, if we can then create those, so I got asked by Duncan, what's Sora going to do to this video maker cannot do? Quite honestly, that's used a ton of things from story blocks, a range from different areas it's picked video clips from. It could just create, Sora would be able to create an entire movie around why that would, and it would set it in any location, anywhere in the world, with any language, and have the people talking about whatever we ask them to talk about. It's going to just change everything. Here's our newsletter. And so, hello, DSV champions. So now we've got our newsletter. Stay connected with us. Follow us here. All right. So then I can go give this to me as 10 tweets. So we created the newsletter. We then created the video. We then created the board letter. We then created tweets. And so now it's writing the 10 tweets. And you notice, because it's in, it writes it in my phrasing, and see, it's very emoji heavy, isn't it? It does love an emoji. So then, okay, so now give me, I'm going to say 5 Facebook updates and 5 LinkedIn updates. So as we go through, it's going to write those for me. So here's our Facebook updates, and then it should just go on and write the LinkedIn ones. There we go. And you notice the way it's writing them, it's in different formats and in different lengths and different language, depending on which topics we're doing. Turn these last 5 into French. So presumably you can edit all those before schedule. Absolutely. Yeah, you can edit them, anything. You can write them in any language and in about any topic. And this is a proper translation or interpretation, not direct word for word stuff going on. We can then, so from there, we can, well, what would we like to do? Let's do something a bit more interesting. And so the reason I say this is once you have content, you can turn that content from that into anything you want it to be. So you can have it go from your tweets to your Facebook to a different language to anything we want it to be. But what about if we say, well, hang on, if I open a dummy membership database. So this is standard Excel. It is just a dummy database I made. And so we've got member ID, member one, join date, renewal date, membership fees. Got the events they went to and their participations. Hopefully I can achieve those promises for 5K. And then, so we've got participation, events, and members. So now, let's drop that database, dummy database, into here. Now, the reason I'm showing this is because there's a couple of ways of doing this. And so the first one I want to be able to do, and I don't know why that's not doing what I want, but GPT is clearly not playing with us. Yeah, so I'm going to go explore GPTs, and I want data analyst. Now, the reason I use data analyst, it's made by ChatGPT, but it allows me to analyze and visualize data. And it's dedicated. And now everyone will know that it can do these things. But there's my dummy membership. I'm just going to drag and drop it in. So the reason I want to show this data analyst, it uses the background in a slightly different way. So now I can say, which member on this database has the highest lifetime value to my association? So now you can see they're updating GPT at the moment, because it literally goes, which would you prefer? Then that was worse. So try again. So to find the member with the highest lifetime value, this is what we're going to do. Let's begin by loading and reviewing. And then, so it's going to load the database into the AI. And it's going, right, here's all the things. So to calculate, we're going to, the lifetime, consider factors, number of renewals, membership fee, how the data indicates. Shall we proceed with this approach? Do you have a different method? Yeah. Read all the sheets and use engagement and renewals. So now it'll go off and go, okay, to proceed with your request, I'll read all the sheets. So now it will read every page of the Excel spreadsheet. Next, I'll load the member and participation sheets. So now this will act as, so it's going to now know members, events, participation. It'll go through to calculate the lifetime value. This is the way we're going to do this. It's going to calculate the total membership fee paid by each member, considering their join date and renewal date. It'll count the number of the events each one's participated in, and then combine these two metrics to get the lifetime value. It'll start with number one, then it'll proceed with step two. You see, data analysis will actually allow you and give you a step-by-step guide on how it's working. And I really like that. The final step we can consider is total fees paid and event participation. How would you like to proceed? It looks good. Great. He'll they'll now put that into the calculation. And now we can see that we'll consider total fees paid. The members, the highest is member 527, and the value of 308, which includes 300 paid in 8 events. So now we know who our highest lifetime value is. Or you can go, who is most likely to leave us? And it'll go, right, we're going to do this check now, and we're going to work it out on these factors. So Susan, is it safe from a privacy perspective to put member data into a platform? Yes, Susan. So if you're using Team, you're excluded from training by default. So at no point you're completely fine and secure. Oh, bugger. Did I lose that? No. Yeah, it stopped analyzing. Here we are. Let me see where it's gone. To predict this member leave, so always extend that. All right, so who is most likely to leave? All right, so it'll go off and do that. Going back a little, 3 questions, as it's all useful and overwhelming for a beginner. Absolutely, Emma. Emma, honestly, don't worry about this. I'll answer any questions. Do you know if the database tools integrates with members, like the one you're doing now? So members uses, I believe, Drupal as a code, and it can absolutely read Drupal. It's just as long as you have access to your member database, it will then be able to read that. Number 2, when you send out personalized videos, etc., how do you avoid it looking like spam which uses names? It comes from your address. So your members have paid you money, and that means that they're going to expect it to come from your address. Plus, it looks like you, sounds like you, and talks like you. So we actually have seen a massive, like a huge uptick in the open rates when we've used that. How do you overlay the various tools like Blandy, Lusher? They all seem interoperable. At the moment, they don't. You end up having to use them individually. We're not at the platformed space yet where you can have them integrate. Most likely by the end of the year is the answer for that one. Can we recommend a good database management app? Oh dear. I mean, I'm in risky ground here, aren't I? A good database management app. This is being recorded. I quite honestly, look, while this is doing its thing, what I would do is, let me just quickly go back here and turn that off, open this up. When you log in, you can go to an API. And under the API, you can then literally go to your assistant's fine-tune API keys. You can create another key and then plug that in, give it the code for your database. And as long as you've got a database, this can interrogate it. So, and if you can interrogate any database, you really only need GPT to do it. How soon will this engagement via video become spam-like and get ignored? A lot of novelty factor. Well, just like email, exactly the same as email. I mean, you're getting spam by email at the moment. You're not getting spam by video. So I'm guessing it would probably take exactly the same amount of time as email took to become spam-like. Have you got a simple getting started in AI associations .point list? No, but I'm happy to make one for you, Duncan, if you'd like one. that's because I can have AI make it. So suddenly productivity becomes through the roof. So I can make how to getting started and a list of different AI tools I trust and what I use them for. Yeah, absolutely happy to send that through. Because when you see the power of this, you know, if we go through to the this that we made previously, we can then say to it, what else can you do? Because essentially what we've done here is we have taken a piece of information, tell me about Down syndrome, tell me about this association, it tells us. We've gone, read this site and give me a comprehensive view. And now you know who that is, write this. And in this format, in this way, now change it into this, now change it into this. So get used to the ability to create content very quickly. Also remember, it's working in an environment. And this is the environment it's working in. Maybe you want your board paper or whatever it is you've made to be given to you in a different way. So make this a downloadable Word doc. So now it will use its tool and it will take the one above and turn it into Word for me to download. Or I can say, create me a form, an Excel spreadsheet, create me a database, populate it with this and give it to me as an Excel file. So it's really a huge tool. So here we are, LinkedIn updates in French. And it will then just appear as a downloadable document. So on these side of things, we can do this in a range. It's not appeared. Oh, it's still starting download. It's having a few challenges today, funny enough. And that normally means that we've got an update on the way. And we're absolutely expecting an update. So the other thing is, oh, no, it failed to get the upload status. So I'm almost sure we've got an update on the way. So when you're looking at the GPT, just think, well, it can create images, it can analyze data, and it can create content in any form. So we can say, turn this whole conversation into a front page image. And so it will now create the image from there. So it's, when you're looking at this, it's about productivity enhancement and creation and expansion. How long would it have taken to write an email newsletter to convert that into French? And there's our front cover. And for our Coca-Cola approach on behalf of the Down syndrome for Victoria. So you can then download this, do whatever you like with it. But it's the go-to tool. Your GPT is the go-to tool. It's the one that allows you to do the most things. You always click here to start, and then you ask it a question. Has anyone, Kathy, what's your organization?
The Tourism Industry Council of South Australia.
Sorry, I didn't catch the first word, sorry.
The Tourism Industry Council of South Australia.
Awesome, right. Tourism Industry Council of South Australia. Wow, I managed to spell every single. So I'm sure everyone knows that I'm reasonably dyslexic, and now I found myself in the role where I'm typing in front of people for a living. Suddenly it's my world's worst nightmare. However, do remember IQ of 155, trained on 1.76 trillion documents. You know that thing where we can keep each letter the same at the end of each word? and jumble up all the stuff in the middle and still read it, it can do that. So you have not got to worry about that. It's done that for the next 6 months. All right. Tourism Industry Council of South Africa. That's awesome. Right. So we can go, tell me about this org and its partners. Not partners, and its partners. So we'll pick up the tourism industry. Now, imagine, so if we're looking at tourism industry of South Australia, and it's really slow at the moment. So we're expecting some, here we are. So it's a non-for-profit membership-based, 1,100 businesses banding together, established 2009, unifying, talk about, I have no idea who this is. So it's, as we go through, you'll see that it stands out and it's got the entire information. So now we've got the industry council. If we fed in the details of our partners, and I don't know the answer to this. So if we fed in the details of our partners, could we create the mill trip or tour, a film mill tour for our guests that is personalized to each of their needs. So now that immediately means that, and there we are, personalized for meal tour for guests. This is how we would do it. So it'll just give you the answer. So now straight away, we can actually create an itinerary design by weaving together matched experiences into an engaging journey. So it will take the locations, but each person on that bus will receive the information relevant to whatever event it is that they're running. So they're having the same tour, but a different experience on each of them. And could we create a tailored GPT to manage this? So now, this is interesting because it will, if we can do this, it simply means creating a personalized, feasible, it can. So that's fantastic. So, so essentially, even I still get overwhelmed by some of this, you know, it's just like, wow. So what it's saying here is that an tourism industry's specifically custom GPT can manage and enhance various aspects of the guest experience. What it would do is it would allow an organization like the Tourism Industry Council of South Australia to host guests who run events, and they want them to run their events in Adelaide. But each person flying in would be given typically the same form, taken out on the same trip to see the same venues and spoken about all the different things. What this will do is it will bring them in and it will tailor the experience to each delegate depending on what the event it is that they want to place. When we're looking at personalization, that's exactly what we mean. We've now got, say, 20 people on the bus going around Adelaide looking at different venues, but each one, all the content, they're turning up to whatever hotel or venue it is in Adelaide, let's say the wine centre, because that's all our favourites. And we go to the wine centre, but if I've got a 400-person event and the person beside me's got a 20-person event, it'll talk about different rooms, different structures. It'll talk about different pricing, different availability. It'll talk about the whole different experience. And you would be able to create your own GPT where you drop the information in and it would create the famil for you. You simply don't have to. Because at the moment we're using GPT-4. But GPT-4 is trained on everything from medical to livestock to telephones to water. And none of those are really being used if we want to tailor it down to what tourism wants. So we're able to create our own. So you click here and you go to My GPTs. And now you can create your own. And when you create your own, you give it a name, a description, an instruction of what you want it to do, conversation, and then you upload your files and you create new actions. And then once that's done, they sit just here. So you can, this is local email marketing, expert on Australian consumer law. This one is the world's most complete association assistant that I first trialed. It's not that complete, but it's what it means is you can just create your own single use, single purpose GPT dedicated to fixing one problem within your organization. You could call it the Down Syndrome Victoria newsletter generator, and it will put it in the format you always have. You could call it the RFCS new member engagement, and any new member that joins, it'll churn out all the content to send out to a new member engagement. So it's always good to remember your start in AI should always start with GPT, and it should always start with GPT-4. It's just the most powerful. You can create video, you can create content in any form, you can create images, it can analyze your data, your membership data, your event data, any Excel spreadsheet. And then it will also, you can use it so it can visualize that. It'll create the board papers, the newsletters, the new member engagement. It will create all the content for you.
Can I ask a question, Julian, about the images and before when you went through and you generated the image of the conversation? I'm assuming you can do that to branded colors and things like that, maybe. But
yeah, absolutely.
What's the copyright then after? And particularly when there's people, like I know the people weren't real, but who owns that image? And
this is the most wonderful thing. It's never been created before. So the copyright is yours. The IP is yours, and you just use the tool to create a new piece of artwork out of thin air, and it's AI generated. It's completely unique, has never been seen by humans before.
And
I'm not sure.
What about the ethics around it? Like if we had our CEO on there putting out videos to welcome new members and things like that. I mean, are you saying that that's AI, or are you pretending that?
I do. So the ethics are yours.
It seems so weird, but because it all creates that, it's a nice touch, but also if it's not really him, then it's also creating kind of a weird barrier between you and the other people.
Well, you see, what we do is we always project that something that we've never had. So have you ever sent out a custom video to any member that's joined in the past? So first off, you've already got a much bigger barrier than sending out a tailored video. So what I do is I would always say, and you'll see me do it in every single time, because ethics are personal and everyone's of their own. But I would hate to think that someone believes I'm trying to dupe them in any way. So when the videos I actually put out, you'll hear at the beginning, it's always, hello, I'm Julian's AI twin. Yes, you heard that right. An AI giving you a view, think of it as meta insight from a digital clone. So I always announce that it's an AI. And I do it for a couple of reasons. First off, people watch it longer because they're trying to work out if it's real or not, or they're showing their friends, look, this is an AI and I don't know whether it's real. You can't tell, and all that type of thing. So, but I start all of them off with me going,
hello, I am Julian's AI twin. Yes, you heard that right. An AI giving you an overview of AI technologies. Think of it as meta in.
So I announce it every time. I just think that's a good ethical guideline. I think it's a good practice to have. I know lots of people don't, because there's no law against it. You can put it out any way you like. but I think it's a good strategy. It's a good practice to have. I announce you don't on artwork, makes no difference whatsoever. I would not announce that this is AI generated unless you want to, and it's right for your industry. You could go, and now we're using AI to generate some of the most amazing images for us. So it's always good to follow the ethics from your association. And I would, you know, have a guideline written, just create some straightforward process guidelines that states when using AI generated imagery, we put this line underneath. When using AI generated video, it must always start in this way. And having those kind of tailored kind of ethics to your own organization, I would do that. Can you, is there a danger of leaving out critical information creating the custom? No. In fact, more than likely, you're leaving out more information than a custom GPT would ever put in. It's custom GPTs follow instructions. So they will always do the same thing each time in the way you want them to do. Can you take us through DALL-E? Yes. So ChatGPT has an image generator. It's called DALL-E. Now, you can just go create me an image of a hedgehog. And it'll go off and make an image of the hedgehog. Now, you'll notice the image creator within ChatGPT is good. It's really good. Like, it's fun to play with. It's not the best. It's just not. It's if we look through while that's creating an image, if we have a look at, this is a AI company within Sydney called Leonardo. And Leonardo comes up and it is an image generator. So you can choose all the different ways, but realistically, let's go to image generation. Now I'm just going to have a look at my hedgehog. There's my hedgehog. Beautiful little hedgehog. And then I can go, turn this wonderful little thing into a purple hedgehog. And that way, make the evil hedgehog. Oh dear. Turn it into a evil purple hedgehog. Right, that's going to go off and create its evil purple counterpart. But this one here, this is Leonardo. You can choose how many images it creates. We're going to go 4. And now you can choose whether you want output resolutions, the photo reel, the whole thing. And I've just been testing this recently. So now if I go to load more. So the first thing I did was I always get my kids involved whenever I'm testing things. They come up with the most random things. So this is the very first one. Now, if I nip in and show you photorealistic, how would you ever know? Like when we zoom in, that is not a real person. That's an AI generated digitized version of a person stood in front of Sydney Opera House. It's magnificent. It's just beyond ridiculous. And you start looking through, I gave her a dog because Pomeranians are big in the house at the moment. I asked for a kid to be riding on the dragon that looked, I asked for the one that looked like the dragon out of a movie. And so then I wanted to change the kid's face and so I put my image in and turned it young. I was going to put the kid's face in. Then I wanted to see how realistic I could actually get some of this. So let's jump in here. And so this is a nice close-up. The eyes are a bit wonky, but apart from that, that's Brisbane's background story bridge with a lady stood in front of it. So when you're looking for photorealism, I think the Leonardo is the best. If we look at This is a grey-haired man, 50-year-old from Queensland. And how would you ever know that that's not real? So I think for photorealism, Leonardo's about the best. For a quick image, we can use our... Who asked for it? Celia, you've got a lot to answer for. That's hilarious. We got the purple evil hedgehog. And so it will create these, anything you ask for. We've got the evil twin going on. And so now it will actually, you can, when you give these, also give viewpoints and give it as much data. Remember what we said about it being generative AI. It gives you its best guess in return. So the more info you give it, the better the response will be on its response. Would you announce AI for chatbots for a website? Not always. I think you can. So it's just people don't really expect that to be a person at the other end when a chatbot appears. You can, but it depends on your organization. If your internal policy says that we must, then just in the start, in the chat line, say, I'm the RFCS AI assistant. My name is. It's no harm. So I would always err on the side of caution. And from there, really just embrace it, lean in and use it to your heart's content. Do remember it's mobile as well. So you see the weird logo on the left hand, that one there. That means that you can now go into GPT and talk to it. So you hit the headphones. Hey, you're live in front of Australians' leading association leaders. Can you show off for me?
Hey there. No pressure, right? Being in front of Australia's creme de la creme, let's make some magic happen. How about I dazzle everyone with a bit of AI prowess? Throw me a curveball, a question, a challenge, or even a fun fact you want me to expand on. Let's show them what we've got.
Awesome. Tell me everything you know about the Tourism Council of South Australia and how AI could assist them.
The Tourism Council of South Australia, like many such organizations, plays a crucial role in promoting tourism, advocating for industry interests, and providing valuable resources and networking opportunities for tourism operators. They focus on boosting tourism within South Australia, showcasing its unique attractions from the stunning landscapes of the Barossa Valley and Kangaroo Island to the cultural richness of Adelaide. Now let's bring AI into the mix, shall we? AI can be a game changer for the Tourism Council in several ways. One, personalized marketing. AI can analyze data to understand visitor preferences and behaviors, tailoring marketing campaigns to individual interests. Imagine sending a wine lover a personalized itinerary of the Barossa Valley's best vineyards. Two, customer service chatbots. AI-powered chatbots on their website can provide instant.
She's pretty impressive, I have to say. Siri, eat your heart out. So unfortunately, that has brought us to the end of today. And I know we could go on for hours and hours and hours on this side of things because there is so much to cover. I would say for any of you who would like, I will go through the chat and make sure I send everything through. I'll also make sure that everyone's got all the, what was it I got asked for? Where the kind of 101 guide of who and what and how to use, which ones to use and what they're used for. So I'll get that across to everyone as well. Anyone who's excited about this and wants any questions answered, don't hesitate to send me a message. And also, if register for March the 15th, the conference that's running in the BCEC in Brisbane, because we've got people coming on stage talking about how they're going to give funding away to associations to be early adopters of AI. So there's now money by the government coming available. So we've got CSIRO there, and we've got a range of RMITs, online producer for the CPD side of things. We've got implementers there, and we've got a range of people on the stage designed to advance associations' use of AI. So if you've got time, jump into Associations Reimagined and join me in Brisbane on the 15th. Otherwise, look for my email that will be following shortly with all the bits and bobs. Thank you very much. Take care, everyone.